Well, that is right. You are listening to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. Here we are, hour 2, the Todd Huff Show on YouTube. You're also listening possibly on Freedom 95 in Indianapolis. It is good to be here. No matter where you're listening, no matter where you've tuned in, no matter where you found us, it's good to have you here. Thank you for joining us. By the way, I'll tell you a couple of things really quickly off the top here. First, thoughts, opinions, questions, comments, feedback, adoration, and praise can be sent to Todd at toddhuffshow.com. Can also connect with us on Facebook, as long as Facebook allows that, which they temporarily made that difficult, but facebook.com/Todd Huff Show. You know that we're on YouTube. Also, you can subscribe to our email newsletter. It's free. You can simply go to toddhuffshow.com/subscribe, or you can text Huff, the word Huff, to 31996. So do that by text and send us your email back, and you'll be on that list. Those go out Tuesday. A couple of days, we've been transitioning here with a new team member who's been a big help to me. But we're transitioning to her helping with some of these things, and I think this week we didn't go out until yesterday. So anyway, that's on me. So there you go. All right, so I want to pick up a little bit where we left off last hour, but specifically I want to take the news coverage of what's going on in Kenosha. And I saw this in Fox. So Fox made me aware of the way that CNN is covering the violence, the looting, the fires in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Now, this is in the wake of Jacob Flake, which we talked about last hour, which, again, you can go back to our archives, toddhuffshow.com/listen. You can go and download our podcast on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or wherever you get podcasts. You can go back to Facebook, our Facebook feed, to see hour number 1. But we talked about that last hour. But now I want to talk about the way this is covered in the media. And CNN, CNN, I just think that this news organization it entertains the heck out of me. The way that they portray things, the way that they spin things, the way that they talk about things, the journalists so-called journalists that they bring on board, people like Jim Acosta, good old Jim Acosta. Then they've got people that do their shows. Tough guy Chris Cuomo's up there. Don Lemon up there as well. From time to time, we'll play examples of conversation between these two folks as one of them passes the baton for the evening off to the other. I forget who's on first, to be honest. I really don't care. It's all silly gibberish and nonsense to me. But anyway, CNN, you ready for this? This is according to Fox. And again, I got screenshots. I've got graphics here. CNN was widely mocked late Wednesday after an on-air graphic that was broadcasted a day earlier went viral. CNN national correspondent Omar Jimenez was reporting live in the early hours on Tuesday morning on the unrest that had taken place in Kenosha, Wisconsin, following the police-involved shooting of Jacob Blake. Why do we have to abbreviate the state here, by the way? Kenosha, they put W-I-S period. What purpose is that? Why can't they just put Wisconsin? Anyway, Jimenez was standing in front of a raging fire. Now, I mean, it is a blaze. I'm looking here at the screenshot. Omar Jimenez, I mean, it is, I don't even know how to describe it. It looks like whatever's on fire behind him, which it looks like it may include cars. I mean, it looks like something's been bombed. That's what it looks like. I mean, it's a blaze. It's not just like a fire, that's burning in the middle of, just a little trash can on the side of the street. This blaze, a blaze in the background. The graphic. So they've got the media person centered on the camera. he or she has all these other graphics around them. At the bottom, there's like the ticker this has temperatures, but sometimes it's got other news from the day. It's got logos. It's got headlines. It's got up in the top right corner the location, Kenosha, Wisconsin, which, by the way, one of my good buddies from college was from Kenosha, Wisconsin, as he'd say. Anyway, but this is what it reads. So this is like kind of the headline of the segment, I guess. Or they you know how they change those out? Sometimes they'll fade in and fade out. You know, some other development happens or whatever. Just other information they want to share with you. This is what it says. You ready for this? Fiery. I don't understand whoever wrote this. I know this was overnight. Maybe they had worked a 24-hour day. I mean, there has to be an explanation like this. Because the headline says this: fiery but mostly peaceful protests after police shooting. Fiery but mostly peaceful. Omar, Mr. Jimenez, I want to share with you some information you might find helpful. And I've done this before, and I'm going to do this again. I think it's necessary when I read silly stuff like this. I think it's necessary to remind people when a protest becomes a riot. If you're at a protest and you see bricks begin to fly through the air towards the law enforcement officers or other projectiles, doesn't have to be bricks, can be rocks, can be other items, you have ceased attending a peaceful protest and are now finding yourselves in the midst of a riot. When you see the first fire being set at said peaceful protest, you have ceased attending a peaceful protest, and you are now a participant or an attender of something that is becoming a riot. When you see people dancing and stomping on top of police cars and windshields being busted, when you see, people kicking those windshields, throwing things on the cop cars, stomping the hoods, jumping on top of the vehicle, you have ceased attending a peaceful protest, and you are now attending a riot. When you see looters storming into stores, not only setting them on fire, but also taking whatever it is that they want, and then, of course, justifying the taking of said items, you are no longer attending a peaceful protest. You are attending a riot. What on earth is this? He's not responsible, I guess, maybe, for the stupid headline here. Fiery but peaceful protests after police shooting. Now, look, it's tragic all the way around, but just the way that this is reported is part of the problem. So the same people who just report as quickly as possible some basic facts, which include someone was shot, a black man was shot by police in the back. They just want to get that out there, right? We have the NBA. I don't even care. The NBA to me is, I have no interest, literally no interest. Like I said before, I don't care what their political opinions are. They can have whatever political opinion they want. It's just when it's literally all over the place, when they're literally furthering a narrative that's being perpetrated on the American people by organized and trained Marxists, open Marxists. Black Lives Matter leaders tell us they're openly Marxist. They've been trained Marxists. This is part of their strategy for getting America to move towards radical, leftist, socialistic, and communistic. I mean, Marxism is communism. I don't know if people don't know this. I don't know if people don't care about this. I don't know if people think it's just a different set of rules. I don't know what they think. But communism killed in the 20th century 100 million people, it's been estimated, of its own people. 100 million people. People act like it's just another way of doing things. It's definitely another way of doing things. But anyway, just as an aside, So I don't know if Omar knew what was being posted under his video clip as he was sharing with us the information he was sharing with us. But it's pretty remarkable that they would literally have a fire burning in the background. And I don't mean a fire like a campfire. I mean, it looks like the whole block behind him's ablaze. I mean, at least a big chunk of it. So I'll play this really quickly here before we take a break. I want you to hear, this is what he was actually saying as the graphics read, fiery but mostly peaceful protests after police shooting. Fiery but mostly peaceful. What? And this is what he was saying.
What you're seeing behind me is one of multiple locations that have been burning in Kenosha, Wisconsin over the course of the night. A second night since Jacob Blake was seen shot in the back 7 times by a police officer. And what you are seeing now, these images come in stark contrast to what we saw over the course of the daytime hours in Kenosha and into the early evening, which were largely peaceful demonstrations in the face of law enforcement. It wasn't until night fell that things began to get a little bit more contentious. Things were thrown back and forth. Police started using some of those crowd dispersal tactics like tear gas, even playing very loud sounds to push them out. And then what you are seeing, the common theme that ties all of this together, is an expression of anger and frustration over what people feel like has become an all too familiar story playing out in places from across the country, not just here in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Christine, Laura.
Okay. There you have it. Multiple fires. Multiple fires. Now, to Omar's credit, as he's reporting on this, to Omar's credit, he has at least acknowledged that there's a difference between what was happening at night and what was happening in the daytime. So Omar's point is the daytime was peaceful. Nighttime, we've got fires. Nighttime, it turns into rioting. Nighttime, it turns into looting and whatever else. It turns into pure pandemonium, right? I mean, we're one step away from, just the purge. I mean, this is what happens at night. And so, going back to Pence's speech yesterday, Yvette Simpson, as I mentioned, I played that clip at the very end of last hour. Maybe we'll play it again this hour. But she wasn't happy about what Pence didn't say, because the America that Pence talked about didn't apply, she says, to everyone. She says it's an idealistic thing. It's not realistic and rational, and it's not for all people, she says. That's not at all. Of course, it's for all people. And if there are instances where individuals are preventing it from being the case for all people, then justice needs to be done, right? If a law enforcement officer does something that's clearly unacceptable or unlawful or not justifiable, then consequences need to be had. Likewise, if someone is not complying and is threatening or fighting, and just because you fight an officer doesn't mean that you're justified in getting shot. But if you're fighting non-compliant and then you make motions, people think you might be getting a gun. Like, it's understandable why things happen. I mean, these are split-second decisions. I think what justice requires is that we look at the circumstances, we look at the facts, we look at the totality of this, not just the headline. But that's unfortunately where we are. We're a headline and soundbite culture. We're an inch deep and a mile wide. Everyone thinks they know. They're masters of all sorts of things. Everyone's a political expert now. Everyone understands all these issues. But the truth is they don't. It's remarkable to me when I have conversations with some people just how little people know. I've shared with you when I was on this jury in a couple of years ago, when I was in the jury selection pool, right? When not even before I was chosen, just some of the responses you heard from people who were being questioned as potential jurors, the things that they said. There's no understanding by some people of things like reasonable doubt, of, just the whole process, the whole innocent until proven guilty. It's like there's none of that. People can form opinions in the public square, but when you're making a final determination and you have control over the fate of an individual, that's different. And I'm just saying people didn't. Now, we went through that for those that were selected on the jury, and we talked that through, and there were clear directions. I'm talking about those at the beginning of the process, just the general public that didn't get picked for the jury. There's just a massive amount of misunderstanding of some critically important and fundamental parts of what it means to be American. Our education system has failed us miserably in this category. It's why, by the way, we're launching Conservative Not Bitter University, to help people understand the beauty of what we have here, and to also help people become more persuasive and better communicators about what it means to be conservative, what this nation was founded upon, why these ideas matter, why they make a difference, why they make life better, and why they apply to all people. If they don't, it's because we have individual problems, individual people that are the problem, and those people need to be dealt with. But the system applies to everyone. Everyone. I had to take a break. I'll take a break here, continue our conversation when we get back. There's other things I want to get to as well. You're listening here to the home of Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
We all know having health insurance doesn't always equal health care. That's why at Freedom HealthWorks, we believe the key to maintaining good health is based on a straightforward, personal relationship with your physician. With our direct doctor-patient relationship model, we remove your healthcare middleman and replace him with transparent pricing and incentive to call your doctor at the first sign of illness. So if you're ready to experience real care from a doctor that really cares about you, go to freedomhealthworks.com and learn more about the benefits of our direct primary care model. Freedom HealthWorks. Be treated better.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit, or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
Our partner, Global Plasma Solutions, has published ionization testing results that demonstrate a 99.4% reduction rate on a SARS-CoV-2 COVID-19 surface strain within 30 minutes. This is the first instance that an air purification company has effectively neutralized SARS-CoV-2. Commercial Service Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is installing this solution in businesses and homes in South Central Indiana. Get your free information kit at commercialservice.com/info. Commercial Service, commercial-grade service for your home.
In the compassion of Christ, we see Christ as he models it for us in some really interesting ways. He's not worried about the world metrics. No, he is worried about the person. Mark 5, he gets in a boat and goes across the lake for one person. We see him as he's walking amidst all of the people. He stops to engage with the one woman with the issue of blood. Christ was about engaging with people and not worried about numbers. If there was one, he wanted to engage and connect with them. For us today to live out the compassion of Christ, will you engage with someone? Will you engage with the one? Not worried about the numbers, but worried about the connection.
Hi, this is Caleb with Gluff Plumbing. Does your home need some plumbing updates? Gluff Plumbing is your solution. We specialize in updating old plumbing, everything from water heaters to well pumps, to underground leaks and everything that has to do with water entering and leaving the home, including water and sewer main excavations. We pride ourselves on old-fashioned customer service. Call Gluff Plumbing at 765-721-6789 or visit gluffplumbing.com. That's GLUFF plumbing.com. Call us today.
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC.
Indy Decorative Concrete is hiring immediately. They're looking for workers with experience finishing concrete. Pay is $25 to $30 per hour with weekly overtime. All jobs are located within the city of Indianapolis. Call 317-784-1464 or apply in person at their offices located at 8366 Brookville Road, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46239. They're open Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information, visit their website, www.indydecorativeconcrete.com. www.indydecorativeconcrete.com.
Welcome back. So, for me, I don't understand, and I do from a political perspective, but I don't understand how you have to be either in favor of utter lawlessness. Like, I guess some make it sound like you're either in favor of the protesters, or which they then lump in rioters, or you're in favor of law enforcement, law and order. That's just not the case. So the Trump administration said they offered to help Governor Tony Evers. They offered to help him send some federal assistance, and it's been reported that he had denied that at first. He's now accepting it. And so here is what is happening in Wisconsin, according to his spokesperson. Governor Evers has been working with several state partners to get additional National Guard and state patrol support. The federal government is planning to assist in facilitating conversations with other state partners and provide FBI support to our state response. And so Wisconsin has agreed to take some help, some federal help with this. But look, this stuff has to be stopped. You cannot allow this to happen. You cannot allow, I hope, people in Kenosha, Wisconsin, or other communities nearby there, or wherever this violence may spread to. You have to stop this. And stopping it is not being unsympathetic to Jacob Flake. It's just simply not. In fact, if you listen to Jacob Flake's mother, she's pleading with people. She's pleading with people to stop rioting. In fact, I'm looking here at the Daily Wire. I think I may have seen this somewhere else too, but I want you to listen to this. This is a conversation she had on CNN. Who knows what the graphics are that they're putting up for this. But she's being, this is, just listen to this. Listen to what she has to say.
For you. The destruction that has been taking place in cities across the country and in Kenosha. I heard you speak about that. And my question is, you said that you don't want that in Jacob's name, and neither would he. Tell me more about that, please.
Absolutely not. My family and I are very hurt and, quite frankly, disgusted. And as his mother, please don't burn up property and cause havoc and tear your own homes down in my son's name. You shouldn't do it. People shouldn't do it anyway. But to use my child or any other mother or father's child, our tragedy, to react in that manner is just not acceptable. And it's not helping Jacob. It's not helping Jacob or any other of the men or women who has suffered in these areas.
Do you have anything to say, Ms. Jackson, to the politicians who are out there, or anything you want to say? To the presidents or the candidates, or to Trump or Biden or anything like that?
For our President Trump, first I want to say a family member, and I don't know if it was heard or not, said something that was not kind. She is hurting, and I do apologize for that. Our outburst that does not reflect our behavior. And then also for President Trump, I'm sorry I missed your call, because had I not missed your call, maybe the comments that you made would have been different. And I'm not mad at you at all. I have most respect for you as the leader of our country. Like I said before, and I'm not saying this to him directly, we should always get the details from the right source before we start throwing bricks.
There you go. I mean, that's a hurting mother who has more perspective about this situation and the details of things. She has more perspective. She's apparently looks like she's able to step back and to see this. She's telling people not to riot and burn things and cause havoc and tear down your city and homes. Don't use her son's name to do that. That's not what this is about. She also has some words for Trump. She says, "I respect you as the leader of our country." Don Lemon probably thought about muting her mic on that part. But the truth is she's exactly right. The depth, the perception, perspective, I should say. By the way, I said, Oz told me, I said Jacob Flake a couple of times. It's Blake, and that's, I think I was, Floyd. I just think I was, sorry, but that's not intentional. Jacob Blake. That's just a mistake I made. But she's right. She's right. We've got to get information before she says, before we start throwing bricks. Truth is, we shouldn't. I mean, I can't think of, what would justify throwing bricks, period. But she's exactly right. A voice of reason from someone who is hurting right now, from someone who, I'm sure has questions and is confused and that's reason that is a fine, totally understandable situation for someone to find themselves in. But to jump to conclusions that go as far as to justify the burning of cities and all this sort of stuff, which is what some of these leftists are doing, I'm telling you. Some of them have basically argued that because of 400 years of oppression, as they would say, going back to the years when slavery began, they basically are arguing that it's okay. You've heard some Black Lives Matter leaders say, hey, I don't care, Gucci, whatever stores you go into, Nike, take whatever you want because it's your reparations. I want to talk about reparations after this because, this idea, well, I'll get to it next segment, but I just, the idea of reparations, to set the stage here, I guess, for the next segment. The idea of, because an injustice was done to someone in the past, to then promote an idea that would create an injustice for someone in the future, that is never going to solve the problem. And I want to talk about that when we get back. But I admire tremendously Jacob Blake's mother, Julia Jackson. I admire what she says tremendously here. So, that said, I got to take a break. Come back in just a minute. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Like what you hear on Todd's show? Why not get more by signing up for Todd's free Semi-Sweet Morsels of Truth newsletter? To subscribe, visit toddhuffshow.com/subscribe or text HUFF to 31996.
Our word can't be diluted because we are taught that a promise is a commitment in which you always follow through. No ifs, ands, or buts. So every time you walk through Greg Hubler Chevrolet doors, you can count on the advice and expertise we provide you. Because when we make a promise, we keep it. Greg Hubler Chevrolet. Promise kept. Visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
Hi, my name is John Swadner, Sales Director of the Todd Huff Show. As a listener of the program, you know the show is growing. 4 years ago, it began as a podcast in a closet. Today, it's a 2-hour show that airs during morning drive in Indy and in Utah, and we're just scratching the surface. Todd brought me on board to help the show and our advertisers grow. That's why I'm specifically looking for partners who are a good fit to advertise with us. Would that be you? To learn more about what advertising would look like and to determine if it's a good fit for your business, shoot me an email to john@toddhuffshow.com. And be sure to ask me about some of our special packages that will save you up to 40%. Email john@toddhuffshow.com. Shoot me an email today.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-764-9168. 800-764-9168. 800-764-9168. That's 800-764-9168.
Business leaders, are your employees satisfied with their jobs? Do they enjoy coming to work and feel valued? Workforce Chaplains can help. Locally owned, we work with organizations to provide holistic care to their employees. I'm Marcus Schrader, President of Workforce Chaplains, and we offer your team a 24/7 support system that positively affects your company's culture and productivity. With our personalized pricing and diverse support system, we handle the issues that you wish you had time for. To learn more, visit us at workforcechaplains.com.
Anxiety, depression, relationship problems, past trauma. Problems rarely get better when given time. Care to Change Counseling can help. Our professionals combined evidence-based care models with scripture to get you on the path to a productive life. We are here to help you make the changes you need for a healthier, happier you. Take that brave step today. Call Care to Change at 317-790-9396 or visit caretochange.org.
I love my community, and I wanted to do more to make a difference with my hard-earned dollars. I wanted to make an impact and help shape our future and our county. So I gave money to the Community Foundation of Morgan County. More than just charitable giving, the money I donate is tracked and measured so every dollar is held accountable. It's a social return on your investment. Why don't you join me in donating at cfmconline.org? That's cfmconline.org. Philanthropy with measurable impact.
Welcome back. So I before the break I touched on the tensions in this country extend into many issues today. When you talk about racial tensions and injustices and the way police interactions with Black Americans and police shootings and all these sorts of things, inevitably when you talk race, the issue of reparations begins to come up. And it came up a little bit. It comes up even in the looting because some people say, hey, you can't blame these individuals for looting. They have been systematically by this government. This is the argument. I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm just telling you what they say. They have been oppressed by this government for 400 years. They've not been given the opportunity to, if they weren't oppressed, they would have been able to earn the money to buy the things that they're taking. And so it's really just rightfully theirs anyway. I mean, that's really a line of thinking. And I don't know if I would call it thinking. It's emotional. It doesn't make any sense. This idea of reparations will never end, because what you have to do, you have to say a group of people today are going to be given money from a group of people, another group of people today. And the group of people that they're taking money from today had nothing to do with the oppression that the relatives of the people who are claiming the need for reparations today, they had nothing to do with that. I had nothing to do with this. I had nothing to do with slavery. Slavery is evil. Slavery is evil no matter who is enslaved, why they're enslaved. Slavery is evil. Racism is evil. I'm a Christian. We're all created in the image of God. The amount of what our skin tone looks like is not a major concern. I mean, yes, God made us different. It's interesting, our differences. That's a good thing. But this idea that it's the most important thing is just really not accurate. We're all made in the image of God, and our value is based upon our intrinsic worth to God, which has nothing to do with our color at that point. Our value to God is that we are is our very soul, the essence of who we are. And again, I'm not saying that none of these identifying things matter, because they do. It's interesting. It tells us the story of who we are. I think those things are fascinating. I jokingly say on here myself that I'm the official self-appointed spokesperson for the Pocahontas family because I'm her 13th great-grandson, documented by a genealogist. I think that's fascinating. I think other people's family trees and histories are fascinating. But I cannot claim that someone today, because their family might have been involved with, maybe someone's family harmed, the Pocahontas, or her family. I have no right to claim that someone today, I would never even dream of that, to say that, to justify that someone today who had nothing to do with the alleged event or the actual event even should compensate me. How is that a good thing? Because now we've swung past justice. Justice just demands that all the bad stuff should stop. You cannot atone for all these things in such a way where you're trying to give reparations to people way down the line, long after, in this case, slavery has stopped. And so you swing the pendulum way past what's fair and right to now, somewhere down the line, is it possible if reparations are paid by people like us today, would our families, would our descendants have a claim to say, hey, you hurt me, you hurt the descendants of those who had to pay reparations because we could have gone to better schools, we could have gotten better jobs. And so now do they then make people, descendants of the folks that received reparations, pay that back? Then it swings back that way. You just have to stop. You just have to say, let's be just and good people. Let's not demand things. Let's not justify violence. Let's not turn a blind eye to what's going on in these cities. Let's stop it. Just because you stop it doesn't mean that you think the officer every time is justified. That's not what that means. Those two things are not the same thing. They are mutually exclusive ideas. Yes, I don't want the city to burn down. Yes, I want justice in all circumstances where law enforcement has and shot a black individual, white. It doesn't matter to be the race. You just want justice in all these instances. If a crime has been alleged, justice should be served. And sometimes, by the way, justice is exoneration, or at least, not a not guilty verdict. But we are so far from being able to see and to say that and to accept that, except for people like Jacob Blake's mom, who has incredible perspective, who I admire tremendously for what she came out and said. Don't do this in the name of my son. Don't you dare do this. Anyway, going to shift gears when we get back, but this tough things to talk about because it's so emotionally charged. It's tragic, regardless if the officer was justified or not. It's tragic that this is now the consequence. Jacob Blake shot, severed at least partially spinal cord, is partially paralyzed from what I understand. Terrible, not a good thing. Even if I'm not saying that he's 100% at fault, but if his actions justified the actions of the officer, the response of the officer, it's still tragic. It's still not a good thing. And it's still not, we still cannot allow cities to burn. We still cannot allow more lives to be lost, more businesses to be destroyed. I mean, their businesses are struggling already through this pandemic, and now we're setting them on fire. It just makes no sense. You're not justified to taking things from a business. You're not justified in burning it down. This nonsense has to stop. And I've got to stop as well. It's time to take a time out. You're listening to Conservative Not Better Talk. I am your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Listen to Todd's show on your way to work, but want to hear more? Don't miss a beat. Visit toddhuffshow.com/listen to catch the program anytime, anywhere.
Ever ask yourself, what does my business insurance actually cover? Well, at AIA and Avon, we think you deserve to know. AIA is focused on earning your trust. We've found that when we educate our clients and truly listen to them, they allow us to work alongside them to put together the insurance plan they need. Whether your business is big or small, give AIA a call, 317-718-1747, or find out what we can do for you at AIA4lowrates.com. Advertisement sponsored by Grange Insurance.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200 down, $300.
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freege, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freege, Freije, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freege, owner and lead auctioneer at Freege & Freege Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
Are you concerned about your investments? Intrepid Financial has been educating, customizing, and servicing Hoosier investment portfolios since 1998. Our family-owned and operated business builds strong bonds with our clients. When you call, we answer the phone, always ready to walk you through your investment strategy. Intrepid means without fear. We want our clients to be fearless, to feel secure with their investments. Give us a call at 317-818-1776 or visit us online at intrepidfinancial.com.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing,
and electrical done right.
Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the words. For on time.
The printing industry has changed a lot since we opened for business in 1931. But what our clients expect from us really hasn't changed. Quality print, fast turnaround, and competitive prices. We've learned a lot at Moeller Printing over 86 years and 3 generations. Why not put that experience to work for you? Call 317-353-2224 and mention discount code RADIO to receive 10% off your first order. Call Moeller Printing at 317-353-2224.
Seems like just yesterday that you couldn't find a quiet place to think in your home. Now all the kids have flown the nest and you find yourself wondering what to do with all of that extra space. This is Bruce of Bruce Richardson Realty. My team and I understand that life changes, and so do your home needs. So whether you're downsizing or upsizing, give us a call at 317-507-3285. Let us help you find the best fit for your residential or your commercial property needs. 317-507-3285.
If you own a rental property, you know the hassles of marketing, renting, collecting, and the handling of maintenance and repairs. One call to Zuluscape can put an end to your property management headaches. Zuluscape has over 20 years of experience helping landlords throughout central Indiana and taking the stress out of owning a rental. From A to Z, let Zuluscape handle it all so you can enjoy owning a rental instead of hating being a landlord. Give us a call at 317-663-8485 or visit our website at Zuluscape.com.
All right, welcome back. So here's something else that happened last night here. I just wanted to get to this as well. There's several things I wanted to get to that I just didn't have time for. Fox News reporting here. I did not see this until Fox, so I just want to credit them for this. But it says this, and forgive me if I mispronounce a name here. This is not intentional if I do, but PBS reporter Yamiche, I believe, Alcindor, blasted for tweet knocking Cawthorn for standing during RNC remarks. You may have seen this. If you haven't, it was a moving circumstance. There is a young, I believe he's 25-year-old candidate for the House of Representatives, Republican Madison Cawthorn. He's paralyzed, partially paralyzed. He was paralyzed in 2014 in a car accident. He uses a wheelchair. At the end of his speech last night, he was in his wheelchair as he gave his speech. But two young men walked up beside him and helped him to stand. He had leg braces on, and he stood, which was a moving thing. I mean, it was to see this young man and to think about what he's gone through. Yamiche Alcindor, keep in mind, where does she work? PBS. Who pays her salary? You. You pay for this. I pay for this. This is what she tweets. Why do we need a public broadcasting station, or whatever the S stands for? Public broadcasting station. Anyway, Madison Cawthorn made it a point to stand. This is her tweet. Suggesting that all Americans should stand during the Pledge of Allegiance and National Anthem. All the audacity, by the way. It was a direct rebuke of actions by people, including black athletes, who are currently sitting out games protesting police brutality. I mean, look, I think that you could certainly, I think he made the point that he's a proud American. I think he made the point that he's, he'll do whatever it takes to show his respect and honor for this nation. But I don't know. I don't know that it should be the assumption that his standing is a message against people protesting police brutality. It's just amazing how they conflate and confuse these issues. If you've got to explain constantly the purpose of your protest, if you have to say consistently that, hey, I'm not kneeling because I'm disrespecting the flag or the nation or the national anthem, if you've got to say that, you might want to rethink your messaging, because if that's not what people are interpreting, then you need to rethink it, because that's the whole idea. But regardless, I just think about her taking the time to tweet about this. This guy struggles to stand up. It was a powerful thing to see. Just let it be. I don't know why he's not in favor of police brutality. It's just remarkable to me the way these people think. They're so blinded by their worldview. These reporters, especially. I got to take a break. I just think it's a little bit. It's just, I don't know. Just think about this. A guy who's quadriplegic or partially paralyzed, I guess I should say, standing up, and she finds some problem with this. Anyway, can take a time out listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Is it possible to be a fan of the show if you don't have the gear to prove it? Why not be safe and remove all doubt? Shop for official merchandise at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
When life is hard for the women you care about, there is help with issues such as widowhood, anxiety, depression, or abuse. They don't have to go through it alone. Peace Restored is there to walk with women through the journey. Peace Restored helps women through free mentoring, counseling, and education. When life is hard, Peace Restored is there to help women you care about find hope and healing. To learn more, visit peacerestored.net.
Wallace Construction is a family-owned business with 45 years' experience in asphalt, concrete, and seal coating. At Wallace Construction, our wide variety of experience and top-notch customer service have helped us build a strong reputation in central Indiana. But we don't rest on that reputation. We build it, one job at a time. If you have an upcoming project, call us at 317-422-5356. That's Wallace Construction, 317-422-5356, and ask for Richard or Roger.
Hey Indianapolis, by now you've probably heard about Jody Dowdle with Midwest Tax Group. Jody and his team are experts at helping you prepare your personal or small business tax returns. You can count on Midwest Tax Group to get every deduction possible and work for your higher refund. And not just on this year's taxes, they'll check your prior returns for any tax savings you may have missed for free. Are you behind on filing your returns? They can file past due returns and help negotiate with the IRS, too. They complete most tax returns within a week and charge an affordable flat fee, no hourly billing. And as their client, you can consult with the team at Midwest Tax Group year-round at no charge. Midwest Tax Group has 4 office locations in Castleton, Greenwood, Plainfield, and Greenfield, with evening and weekend appointments available. Schedule your appointment today at 317-288-5260. That's 317-288-5260. Or visit their website at mwtaxgroup.com. Midwest Tax Group can help you more than any piece of software ever could.
Radon is an invisible, odorless gas that kills more people than drunk driving. In fact, radon is the leading cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. Is radon threatening the health of your family? Call Radon Environmental at 317-843-0804. Radon Environmental specializes in radon testing and mitigation. The process is quick, easy, and worth it. Radon Environmental wants to make sure your family's health is not at risk. Call 317-843-0804.
The compassion of Christ. It's living life connecting to the broken and messy world. It's not simply walking down the street and dropping a quarter in someone's bucket. It's been perverted by Satan from biblical compassion to feeling sorry for, and sympathy isn't where God wants us to live. It's connecting to broken people in our daily life. Living the compassion of Christ.
Hi, this is Kenton with Christian Community Connect. We're a network of business professionals that are committed to living out our faith in the marketplace by preferring one another in love while serving everyone. With online listings at $27 per month, if you're a Christian in business, committed to treating others as you would want to be treated, we would love to include you. Check our reviews and sign up at ChristianCommunityConnect.com.
All right. Well, unfortunately, that is about all the time that we have today. But fear not, you can always catch encore episodes. We don't do old episodes. We have encore episodes. We have a library of past episodes that you can find at toddhuffshow.com/listen. You can also listen to older episodes at iTunes or wherever you get your Apple Podcasts, Facebook. But it's a pleasure to continue to grow and to reach new listeners. You may be new on YouTube or found us on the radio recently. Thanks for joining us. Good to be here. We will see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening, guys. SDG. Take care.
Ever wondered what shooting a real